This video is how to set up your Cubism composition. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to measure out a 1/2 inch border. So this is all about shading, and it's really annoying to shade up right to the edge of your paper. So if we draw a border, then it's a little bit easier. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to make a mark where there's a 1/2 inch. I'm going to do that at least 3 times on this edge. Why 3? Well, you can align your ruler better to 3 marks than you can 2. So now I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to align those 3 lines, or 3 marks, and I'm going to draw a line. So that makes a nice border. I'm going to rotate my paper and I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to take my ruler, align it. Now one thing I want you to see when you're measuring, make sure you put your ruler where it starts measuring, not the end of the ruler, but where it starts measuring at the edge of your paper. And then I'm going to mark at a 1/2 inch. So the 1 is here, this middle mark is your 1/2 inch. I'm going to slide my paper up a little bit, or my ruler up a little bit, make a mark, and then I'm going to do that again. Okay, so now I can align my ruler. Now it's a little bit difficult. My ruler is a little bit smaller than my paper, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of sliding. So I'm going to align it to 2 dots and slide it and draw it. Alright, so I'm going to do that again. Same directions, just on the other side. And I got one more side to do. Okay, so now I have a 1/2 inch border all the way around, and now I can start drawing my shapes. Alright, so you need to look closely at the requirements for this project. This is the requirement sheet. It is posted online. So the first one, it says divide your paper into interesting sections by drawing. The first one is at least 3 circles, all different sizes. Now if you have a compass, you're more than welcome to use one, but it's not required. What I did was I gathered up some circles, okay, things that I could trace that are all different sizes. So find some things that are circles at your house. Now it says at least 3 circles, and they can actually be extending out of the page. So I'm going to draw one here that's kind of big. Okay, I'm going to actually have another one too, just because. Alright, I'm going to take some of my other ones. This one's a little bit smaller. And I'm really kind of spacing out my shapes here. I have a lot more shapes to draw, but I'm spacing out my circles. I don't want my circles to be all clustered together, okay? I don't know, I kind of want maybe a little bit of one going out the page here. Alright, so I actually have 5 circles, and it says at least 3, so I definitely have enough of the circles. So the next one says at least 3 triangles, all different sizes and angles. Alright, so I'm going to use my ruler on this one. Alright, I'm going to have one kind of coming in here, almost acting like an arrow. That's going to like kind of bring my eye in. Alright, so I kind of got 2 skinny ones. I almost feel like I need to have another skinny one, but I don't know. There's really no right or wrong here. We're just trying to divide up our paper in an interesting way. All right, I think I'm going to keep it at 3 on this one. I like things in odds. Okay, so I have odd number of circles. I have an odd number of triangles. Granted, I don't have anything up here, but I have plenty of things I'm going to have to add. So let's see. All right, the next one, it says at least 3 parallel lines. So a parallel line is, one that goes in the same direction as the other. All right, let's figure out where I should put my parallel lines. Now I could do my parallel lines like this. I could have it like going across the page. I could have them diagonal. Now I have a big diagonal here, so maybe I want to do like diagonal like this. There's really no right or wrong here. So I'm actually going to take and do my parallel lines here. So I'm going to have one here, maybe another one here. But I could also have my parallel lines in another location if I wanted. I could have a different one, like a couple parallel lines going here too. Alright, I'm going to leave it at that for right now and see how it looks later. If I need to make adjustments, I will. Next it says at least 3 right angles. Okay. So what is a right angle? Well, a right angle are your rectangles and your squares. But they don't necessarily have to be completely in the page. I'm going to come over here and do a right angle. So that would be one right angle, okay? Now I'm going to do something over here because I feel like I got a big area here. I'm going to rotate my paper for easier drawing. Alright, so there's 2 right angles. Now I gotta kind of figure out where should I put my other rectangle, or a rectangle or a square. Well, I kind of have it kind of balanced here. I mean, I almost feel like I need something kind of like right here. So I'm gonna put a right angle here. So I feel like those kind of balance each other out now. All right, now the last one says at least 3 original unique shapes. All right, so this is where your creativity really has to come out. All this stuff is very just straightforward, not very interesting. So E is probably your most important. If you don't, kind of push yourself and have like really unique shapes here, your project's going to be probably pretty boring, okay? So I could do any unique shape I wanted as long as it's appropriate for school, okay? Now again, we want to do this in the Cubist style, so we really need to keep it like kind of two-dimensional and more like a shape. All right, so I have everything geometric here. I think what I need to do now is really think about something that could be organic. Now, since it's fall, one of my favorite things to draw is the fall leaves. So I'm going to somehow scatter and break up some of these shapes that might be a little bit bigger. Like for instance, I have some really big shapes over here. I need to break some of that up. So I might start by drawing Now, it is okay to get photo references. If you get on the internet and get a reference for an object, or a shape, you're more than welcome to do that if that will help you. All right, so here I have broken up some of those really big shapes. Now what I see right here is I have this really big awkward shape. So I'm actually going to take and extend my leaf just a little bit so it hits that other shape so it's not one big awkward shape. All right, so I have one. I don't know, I kind of feel like maybe should have something here kind of like flowing. So now I'm going to have another one over here, I think. I'm going to rotate my paper, have another one here. And then maybe just have it come back around. All right, so I have met the requirements. I actually have 4 unique shapes, but I'm going to look at it and kind of reevaluate. Is there any place where I have any really big shape that's like consuming the whole thing, because that's going to be really hard to shade? If there is, then I need to do some more, I guess, placement of more shapes. So right here, I see this really big awkward shape that I would have to shade, and I'm thinking that might not be the most ideal thing. So what could I do? I could add anything. All right, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add another triangle in this area. All right, so I have now divided that area up. Okay, we got really kind of congested here with a bunch of shapes, but that's okay. I got some big shapes here too that I'm not sure, I don't know, it might be a little big. There's like kind of some wide open spaces and kind of right here too. So what could I do? Well, I could add another rectangle or right angle. So that kind of broke up some of those big awkward shapes that I had going on there. All right, so I kind of feel like this actually looks pretty good. I have some small shapes and some fairly big shapes, but nothing that's really huge consuming the whole paper. Okay, so that's how you're going to set up your composition for your cubism. So after you get this, then it's time to shade in the cubist style.